Sigma males are known for their calm, unshakable presence. Men who move through life with quiet precision and self-mastery. They rarely react impulsively, they don't waste energy proving themselves, and they give others room to learn, fail, and grow. But here's what most people miss. Even the calmest man alive has a breaking point. And when that point is reached, the Sigma doesn't explode. He transforms. People often assume that because a Sigma stays silent, he'll stay loyal, that his patience means he'll keep tolerating disrespect. But that's the biggest mistake anyone can make. His silence isn't weakness, it's control. His calm isn't surrender, it's strategy. And once that strategy shifts, it's permanent. When the Sigma finally decides he's done, the change isn't loud or dramatic. It's subtle, final, and irreversible. He won't argue. He won't explain. He won't demand your understanding. He'll just disappear emotionally first, then physically. And when he walks away, he doesn't leave behind drama. He leaves behind emptiness. That kind of mental discipline mirrors the mindset of men like Roger Federer, known for his flawless composure under pressure. Federer once said, "You have to believe in the long-term plan, but you need the short-term goals to motivate and inspire you." That's the Sigma's essence. Patience with purpose, calm with calculation. He doesn't lose control because he knows when to withdraw his energy entirely. So ask yourself this: have you ever mistaken a man's silence for indifference, only to realize it was his final warning? Have you ever pushed someone's patience so far that their calm became your consequence? Because when a Sigma male decides he's done, he doesn't seek revenge. He seeks distance. And that distance is permanent. In this video, we'll uncover 6 unmistakable signs that someone has pushed a Sigma male's patience too far. Each one a silent signal that a line has been crossed, and the man you once knew has already moved on. Number 1. He withdraws completely. When a Sigma male's patience reaches its breaking point, his first move is simple yet devastating. He withdraws. And this isn't just him taking a breather or needing space. It's a full emotional exit, often without a word. He won't explain, he won't warn you, and he won't leave clues behind. He just removes himself from the emotional world you once shared. Because for a Sigma male, peace isn't optional. It's sacred. He doesn't thrive on drama or conflict, and he doesn't have the energy for emotional games. So if you've ignored his boundaries, disrespected his time, or tested his patience one too many times, he'll quietly close that door and walk away. You might still see him around, but he won't be there. His body might be present, but his mind and heart have already left. This withdrawal isn't manipulation. It's instinct. Sigma males don't explode, they don't threaten, they simply decide. And once that decision is made, they start disappearing from your life in quiet, calculated steps. You'll notice he stops texting as often. He no longer initiates conversations. His replies grow shorter, colder. He becomes harder to reach, less emotionally involved, and suddenly indifferent to things that once mattered deeply. And that calmness you sense is not peace, it's detachment. Because in his mind, he's already moved on. When a Sigma male reaches that point, he no longer sees the relationship as something to fix. He isn't trying to make a statement. He's protecting his energy. His withdrawal isn't about punishing you. It's about restoring himself. You won't get closure, you won't get explanations, only silence. And that silence is final. When he walks away, he doesn't circle back for second chances or long discussions. He's already found his answer, and that answer told him it's time to go. Testing a Sigma male's patience never leads to chaos. It leads to distance. And once that distance is there, he uses it to rebuild himself without you in the picture. Number 2. He becomes unresponsive. The next clear shift comes when a Sigma male reaches the edge of his patience. He stops responding. Not just to your texts or calls, but to your very presence. It's like speaking into an empty room. He hears you, but he's no longer moved by what you say. Sigma males are minimal with their words. When they care, their attention is sharp, their presence is steady. But once their patience runs dry, their silence becomes louder than any argument could ever be. At first, you'll notice subtle changes. His replies grow slower, conversations feel forced, the natural rhythm between you begins to fade. It's not that he's trying to play games or teach you a lesson. Sigma males don't do manipulation. If he's quiet, it's because he's truly finished engaging. Being unresponsive is how he takes his power back. When someone repeatedly crosses his boundaries or takes his loyalty for granted, he no longer feels obligated to be available. He believes energy should be earned, not demanded. And once you've shown him that you don't value his time or effort, he stops giving it altogether. This part can be especially hard to accept, because most people expect confrontation, emotion, or drama. But the Sigma gives none of that. His silence says everything. When he stops answering, it's not confusion, it's conclusion. Because your actions already told him everything he needed to know. Some people, desperate to fix things, might double down, send long texts, demand explanations, or try to guilt him into talking. But that only drives him further away. Sigma males don't respond to pressure, they withdraw deeper. Once his patience has snapped and he's gone quiet, getting through to him becomes nearly impossible. Not because he hates you, but because he's already made peace with letting you go. You might still exist in his world physically, your name still in his phone, your presence still familiar, but emotionally you've already lost access. And unless he witnesses genuine change, not promises, not sweet words, but consistent action, that door will stay locked. What people often forget is that Sigma males don't shut others out at the first mistake. If he's gone quiet, it's because he gave you far more chances than you ever noticed. He observed in silence. He waited. He hoped you'd see what was happening. But once his patience ran dry, so did his desire to explain. When a Sigma male becomes unresponsive, that's not a pause. It's the beginning of the end. Number 3. He focuses on self-improvement. Once a Sigma male decides he's done with a situation that tested his patience, something shifts inside him. He doesn't linger in regret or chase after closure that no longer serves him. He doesn't spiral or dwell. Instead, he channels that energy into something far more powerful, himself. When a Sigma male is done, he doesn't waste a single breath trying to fix what's already broken. Every ounce of energy that once went into holding a connection together gets reinvested inward. What happens next isn't revenge. It's transformation. Self-improvement isn't a phase for the Sigma male. It's part of his DNA. Growth, mastery, and discipline aren't trophies he shows off to the world. They're the quiet foundations of his character. So when someone betrays his trust, tests his calm, or mistakes his patience for weakness, he doesn't explode, he evolves. He redirects the storm inward. He might bury himself in work, sharpening his vision until it becomes unstoppable. He might rebuild his body in the gym, pushing through every limit with relentless focus. Or he might pick up a new skill, diving into something that challenges and strengthens his mind. Whatever he chooses, it becomes his new battlefield, and progress is his victory. And that progress is silent but undeniable. Those who once had access to him often watch in disbelief. They expected a man wounded, searching for closure. But instead, they see a version of him that's sharper, calmer, and miles ahead. His silence wasn't a retreat. It was preparation, because the Sigma male doesn't seek revenge. His success is the only answer he needs. His growth is his comeback. His peace, his ultimate form of power. This inward focus is how he rebalances himself after being drained by someone who pushed him too far. He doesn't fill the silence with noise or distraction. He sits in it, reflects, learns, uses the pain as fuel to refine his path forward. Every disappointment becomes a lesson, every loss a step toward something greater, and as he rises, his standards rise with him. He becomes more selective, not only about who he lets close, but where he invests his time, energy, and heart. The tolerance he once had for excuses, drama, or chaos simply disappears. His world becomes minimalist. Only purpose, only progress, only peace. That's why pushing a Sigma's patience too far never ends in a fight. It ends in distance. Not with fury, but with forward motion. You don't see rage, you see results. And the man who once tolerated the unacceptable has now evolved into someone untouchable. When a Sigma male redirects his loyalty inward, what emerges isn't a wounded man seeking validation. It's a rebuilt version of himself, refined, unstoppable, and entirely self-reliant. Number 4. He ends relationships quietly. When a Sigma male truly reaches his limit, he doesn't end relationships with shouting or drama. He ends them with stillness, an eerie, powerful silence that says everything words could not. There's no yelling, no long explanations, no emotional outburst. Just a quiet decision, made with complete clarity and calm. To outsiders, it might look sudden, but to him, that choice was made long before. He just didn't feel the need to announce it. Sigma males aren't afraid of confrontation. They simply see it as unnecessary once the truth has already revealed itself. When he realizes that a relationship, romantic, friendly, or professional, has crossed too many lines, he doesn't argue or threaten. He just walks away. And the end isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's a slow fade. He stops replying as quickly, stops showing up. The conversations lose warmth. The connection slowly thins until there's nothing left but distance. The access you once had, the emotional space he once offered freely, becomes unavailable. And the beauty of it? He doesn't do this out of spite. He doesn't want you to feel guilty. He simply knows that silence speaks louder than confrontation ever could. If he gave you his trust, his attention, and his consistency, and you repeatedly took it for granted, then in his eyes that relationship was already over. He's just now acting on the truth that's been there all along. So when he walks away, he's not abandoning you. He's honoring what's real. This quiet ending can feel brutal because there's no explosion, no closure, and no open door left behind. Just silence and absence. But that's the Sigma male's way. He doesn't seek validation or forgiveness. He seeks peace. And if peace means walking alone, he'll do it without hesitation. Understand this, Sigma males care deeply, and that's why their patience runs so long. But once that patience is empty, their emotional connection fades right along with it. They don't walk away out of anger. They do it out of necessity to protect their focus, their purpose, and their soul. And when a Sigma male ends a relationship, trying to win him back becomes almost impossible. Not because he's stubborn, but because he's honest. If the connection no longer aligns with his values, he won't pretend that it does. He won't stay to avoid discomfort. For him, truth is more important than convenience, and sometimes that truth means closing the door forever. Number 5. He sets firm boundaries. When a Sigma male's patience finally burns out, he doesn't erupt in anger. He creates boundaries. Real, solid boundaries. Not gentle suggestions or unspoken expectations, but clear, firm limits that can't be bent. If you've pushed him too far, he'll no longer tolerate the habits, words, or behaviors that drain his energy and waste his time. And once these new boundaries are drawn, crossing them doesn't earn you a warning. It earns you an exit. Sigma males are naturally understanding. They know people have flaws. They try to stay calm, give space, and keep the peace. But when patience gets tested again and again, they learn the hard truth. Kindness without limits becomes self-destruction. That's when everything shifts. What was once quiet tolerance transforms into razor-sharp clarity. He might stop answering late-night calls. He might stop showing up for favors, cancel plans, or quit doing things he once did effortlessly. These changes may look small from the outside, but together they form an unmistakable message. This is where my peace begins and your access ends. This isn't revenge. It's protection. Sigma males don't thrive on confrontation, but they don't shy away from reality either. If someone keeps crossing a line, They simply move the line and guard it fiercely. They don't plead for understanding or repeat the same warnings. They just enforce what they said calmly and without emotion. And what sets their boundaries apart is how final they become. When a Sigma male draws a line, he's not trying to rebuild the old connection, he's redefining it. He's rewriting the rules so that his peace can exist again. And if respecting those new boundaries means losing someone, he accepts that loss without hesitation. To those who've grown used to his endless patience, this change can feel cold. But it's not coldness, it's closure. He's not cruel. He's not bitter. He's just done giving unlimited access to people who misuse it. Test those new boundaries, and you won't get another warning. You'll just find yourself quietly removed from his life. Sigma males don't build walls to keep people out of fear. They build them to create space for peace. Once his patience ends, that wall becomes sacred. It guards his time, his focus, and the most valuable thing he owns, his energy. Number 6. He becomes indifferent. The most powerful shift of all comes quietly. He stops caring. Not in a forced or performative way, but completely, genuinely, and without effort. The person or situation that once held emotional weight now feels irrelevant. Background noise fading into silence. You no longer occupy space in his thoughts, his emotions, or his world. This level of indifference is deeper than anger, colder than hurt. Anger still means he cares. Pain still means he's connected. But indifference, that's true detachment. It's the absence of reaction, the moment when he finally realizes he doesn't need to feel anything at all. He stops checking in. He stops asking questions. He stops wondering what you're doing or how you're feeling. You no longer exist in the places where it once mattered most. And what makes this so unnerving is how peaceful it is. There's no hostility, no bitterness, just quiet acceptance. This transformation doesn't happen in a single moment. It builds quietly over time. While he was patient, he gave second chances, extended grace, stayed calm, and waited for change. But when that patience finally ran out, the switch flipped, and it never flipped back. He no longer seeks understanding. He no longer craves clarity. He no longer explains his silence. He simply doesn't care anymore. And that's what makes it final. People often expect one last sign that he still feels something, some spark of emotion, some closure. But there's nothing left to give. Not because he's cruel, but because he's reached emotional completion. This indifference isn't dramatic. It's peaceful. He doesn't gossip or complain. He doesn't try to justify or rewrite the story. He simply keeps living, evolving, moving forward as if you never existed. And in many ways, to him, you don't anymore. This level of detachment only forms when a Sigma male feels deeply disrespected, when his boundaries were crossed too many times to count. He doesn't respond with noise. He responds with silence. And then indifference. No anger. No sadness. Just distance, cold, quiet, and permanent. Once he reaches that point, there's no return. You can apologize, explain, or beg for understanding, but it won't make a difference. Because when a man reaches the stage of true indifference, the story is already finished. He's turned the page and started a new chapter that no longer has your name in it. He's not impulsive or dramatic. He's calm, patient, observant. He gives people time to show who they really are. But even patience has an expiration date. And when it runs out, the transformation is absolute. When you push him too far, you won't get a fight, you'll get silence. You won't get warnings, you'll get distance. Slowly, he pulls away, stops responding, draws new lines, ends connections, and rebuilds himself. Stronger, quieter, untouchable. By the time you notice the change, he's already long gone. What makes him truly dangerous isn't rage. It's restraint. That calm after his decision is final, unshakable, and absolute. No second chances. No explanations. Just a clean break and a powerful return to self. So here's the truth. Never mistake patience for weakness. A man like that can endure more than most, but not endlessly. Disrespect him enough times, and the version of him you knew will disappear for good. Respect his silence. Value his loyalty, because once he's done, there's no going back. If this message hit home, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Epic Persona, where we explore the mindset, emotional mastery, and quiet strength that define true self-control.